first talk. Each of you has 15 minutes. So I'll give you a 2-minute warning after 10 minutes, and I will give you when 12 minutes are over. If you exceed your time, if you exceed 15 minutes, there will be no questions. Okay, so please try to stick within 12 minutes.
Double click. That's okay. The fonts of such a
So first talk by Abhishek. So over to you, Abhishek.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Very good morning. Hi, Abhishek K.S. From Gravity Science Foundation, Chamarajanagar. Today I will be addressing on bringing the universe closer, a journey of inspiring curiosity in villages and tribal regions through astronomy outreach. These are all the astronomy outreach activities we have conducted through our science foundation called Gravity Science Foundation. Before I getting into the exact session, I would like to introduce about our organization and what kind of work we do. Basically, we are the team of doctors, professors and scientists. We do a lot of outreach activities in STEM education, and also astronomy is the part of it. Basically, we conduct a lot of activities, and we will be having a separate wing in order to conduct amateur astronomy and amateur radio, that is Karnataka Association of Amateur Radio and Space Sciences. Through this wing, we conduct a lot of astronomy and outreach activities. And we also have some good recognitions. That is, the first one is, we also the official space tutor of ISRO. In collaboration of ISRO, we have conducted a lot of outreach activities in space sciences that I am going to present in my upcoming slides. In addition to that, 2 times we have recognized as the top 100 science meritorious clubs by recognizing our activities by Vignan Prasad. They have given this honor to us. And these are all my objectives of my science foundation. That is, a spark curiosity and scientific temper among students and the general public. As I mentioned, we are not only restricting our activities to only students and teachers, we also extended our activities to the general public. In addition to that, bridge the rural and urban gap in access to astronomy and space education. Because when we look into the way of study of a student from a rural area and also the people are students from the urban area, there are a lot of gaps. We are going to study both the things, and we try to learn from each of them and build critical thinking and skills and interest in STEM careers. Integrates modern science with the local and indigenous knowledge, and all of our activities which matches with the Sustainable Development Goals of UN, that is 4 and 10. So here, as my topic mentioned in my presentation, the first picture you can see is this is one of the activity we have conducted in one of the centenary government school in the North Karnataka, in Karnataka region. It is a government school which has completed 100 years recently, and this is one of the region. It is a tribal area in our Chamarajanagar district. So we have conducted activities. These 2 photos from those 2 places. And here I am going to classify my lectures into topics into 4 to 5 parts. I mean, I am going to present my talk as a 4 to 5 different points. The first one is that tells you what all the activity we conduct through our organization. The first one is special lectures from the subject experts. So here the interesting thing is we call the people from the reputed institutions like ISRO and ICAR and JNP, and we also invite them to come to that particular tribal and rural areas. We generally don't conduct the activities in a particular city kind of thing. We just invite them and take them to the rural area and make them to interact with the students from the rural and tribal region. So I would like to take some names because they supported a lot from the day one. That is, first one is the former chairman of ISRO, is Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar. He is guiding force for us in all of our activities. And the next one is Professor S. Ayappan. He is the former DG of ICAR. And the third one is Professor S.M. Shuksa. He is now the Dean and Professor at IIT Dharwad. Previously he was with JNCSR, Bangalore. He was a distinguished physicist over there. And Fourth person is, that is R.B. Nadagowda. He is Associate Director at the URL Satellite Center, and the last one is Dr. Shyam Sundar. Basically, he is a doctor, but we discuss a few things which is related to astrobiology and all. Basically, he is an anatomy professor, so he guides us in order to reach people when it comes to astrobiology and all. So these are the 5 eminent speakers. They are very supportive, and wherever we conduct the outreach activities in the tribal area and rural area, they used to come there and conduct the activities. So these are some pictures. As I mentioned, the first part is we conduct a lot of science special lectures from the subject experts. These are the different regions we have visited and conducted the special lectures. Here is one of the Morarji Desai school in nearby Chamrajanagara. This picture is in Gundlupeta region. It is one of the tribal area. We went there and invited some school students over there and conducted the special lectures to them. And this is one of the activity. It is a workshop lecture series we have conducted for the students of Mysore. And he is Dr. S.M. Prasad sir. He is also one of the eminent amateur astronomer. We used to invite him to conduct the special lectures on astronomy. And these were the activities I am going to tell you now. After the special lectures, these were the activities. Here the first one is the Skywatch program. This was the Skywatch program we have conducted in the different regions of Chamrajanagara and Mysore, particularly in the tribal areas. We go there and with our telescopes and all, we conduct these activities in that particular region. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have not only restricted our program to the students or teachers, we also extended our program to the general public. So, most of the people are surprised to see the craters of the moon and moons of the Jupiter and rings of the Saturn. See, these were the around 90 plus year ladies used to enjoy the sky, because in Kannada there is one popular say, that is Akasha nododakke nook nuglake. So, there are sky is open for everybody, so anybody can enjoy it. It is not only restricted to only students or any, irrespective of the age barrier, anybody can enjoy it. That is one of the, this pictures tells that. And one more interesting thing is, in that particular region, they worship a god called Shani. That is the name of the god in Kannada, in our regional language. We showed her the rings of the Saturn. So she was very emotional and said, "Today you made me to see the God, that what I worshipped from the past 80 years." This kind of emotional thing also we have seen that, but through the scientific learning. So we can also, if we make them to understand the science, they also enjoy in their own way. This is one of the best examples for that. And this is the second part, that is workshops, camps and expo. So here what we do, we conduct a lot of daytime astronomy activities, and also we conduct there's some paper origami kind of model, that is Arita and Aditya, and those kind of paper origami model has been developed by URL Satellite Center. So in association with them, we conduct a lot of hands-on activities to the students from the rural and tribal areas. So as I mentioned earlier, we already extend all of our activities throughout the state, not only to the particular region. Almost in all the states, we have conducted this kind of activity for the rural and tribal students, and that is solar eclipse watching programs, and as I mentioned earlier, model making and watching the sunspots by using the telescopes, and some posters presentation, and all these were the activities we conduct under our workshops and expo. In addition to that, we also integrated amateur radio as a part of our activity. That is, we conduct some activities on antenna making workshops for the students, and also we conduct some making radio, starting from how the basic electronics works. What is a transmitter? What is a receiver? This starts from that. We have conducted the fundamentals of electronics. We teach students because it helps them to learn radio astronomy in the upcoming days. So Mr. Mahesh Ravi is also closely associated when it comes to the amateur radio astronomy activities. Here you can see we have conducted this amateur. We set up the base station and we demonstrate them how the transmission work, how the receiver works. These are the activities we demonstrate. And as I mentioned, all the antenna making workshop we do for the students. And this is one of the interesting things. We also do some expos and all for the special childs, because astronomy, as I mentioned, we would like to reach different kinds of students. So this is also part of it. We also conducted some activity for the special childs. Really, they enjoyed it a lot. And this is one of the picture taken from that. And we frequently go to that region and conduct expos in the tribal and rural areas. So whatever the material we have, we take that and we go to rural areas and we demonstrate there. This is a picture taken from that activity. And this was some media coverage. As I mentioned, this is one of the observations of the blood moon in the recent days. This is one of the and also it is one of the interesting fact here in this media coverage is that there is one of the popular festival in Karnataka in Mysore, that is called Mysore Dasara. So the people, those who are taking care of, they are completely taking care of that elephants we use for the procession. So that they come to the Mysore 1 month before the festival and stay there. They are all from the tribal region. What we do in that 1 month, they also come with their children. So we go there and instead of simply wasting their time, we conduct some hands-on activities and some education program, even some astronomy outreach program. So as a part of that, we go to their school that's called tent school. There is a temporary school for their children. That's called Kawadi's children. We conduct a lot of activities to them during the Dasara festival in Mysore. Because they are all from tribal region. This is one of the activity you can see here. They conducted by making them to observe the distant object by using. This is a very fundamental because they are all very new to the optical instruments and all. That's why we conduct very small scale activities in astronomy. And this is one of the activity we conducted in Umdiki. It is one of the place in the thick forest in MMS. MMS is in Chamranagar. And so this is one of the very unique program what we conduct to our organization. That is, we celebrate New Year by doing the sky watch. So we invite the people from the different regions, including the general public, students and teachers. We celebrate New Year by doing the sky watch for the past 4 to 5 years. So like-minded people will come and celebrate. We don't cut the cake at all, just we look into the night sky and enjoy the New Year celebration.
2 minutes.
Yes. And this is one of the activities. We invite the students, we take the students to the research centers like ASRO and JNP in order to get the exposure to the tribal students. And in addition to that, because not only, as I mentioned, we not only restrict the learning to the teachers, students, we also invite the teachers, and there are experts in our team. They conduct a lot of activities in daytime astronomy and fundamental of astronomy. They conduct a lot of activities like this. And also, as I mentioned, we conduct some activities in collaboration with ISRO. This is one part. We invite the Space on Wheels, where they contain a lot of, where they included with a lot of space science models. So they exhibit. We go to the schools and they exhibit this. And one more thing is, we celebrate important days. This is one of the unique program in our district, Chamranagar. We have invited around 20 reputed scientists from the ISRO, and we make them to interact. We invited around 500 students from the rural and tribal areas to the town, and we have conducted the interaction session and expound on to them in association with ISRO. And this was the media coverage. And this is one of the unique picture I would like to tell. This is a very popular picture from ISRO. You can see. He is C.R. Satya. Fortunately, he is also one of our advisors. He has designed some wonderful models in astronomy and space sciences. He has designed and contributed to us. He is C.R. Satya, and he is the person who is going here. Both are the same. So he fortunately is also one of the advisors in the beginning days, and he has designed wonderful models and he has donated us. We kept in our science center, and we also take them to the rural and tribal areas. So we also develop some small scale laboratories and resource centers. So this is all, as I mentioned, this is the affiliation of Space Tutor and top 100 Mercury Science Lab. This is not for self-boasting, but because of continuous contribution what we made in the field of science education and popularization, Government of Karnataka, the Honorable Chief Minister has given the state award for me. It's not for self-boasting, as I said. If we do with the passion, definitely the reward will come. This is one of the examples for that. So this is a small video. This kind of place. With this, I would like to conclude. In order to make you to understand this kind of area we reach. So here I have some this is the area we reach. It's a nice song from the jeep driver, because we cannot go by any personal vehicle at all. So we have to get a jeep. Even we can go by walk. The thing is, it is a tiger reserve forest, and also there are a lot of elephants and tigers. So for the safety purpose, we take this jeep. All these kind of areas where there is no facility and all, we go there and conduct the activities. And also, you can observe here, when we are going up, someone has to sit on the front of the bonnet and they have to catch balance. That picture you can see in this video. So because there is no power connection, there is nothing now, facilities for that. So we would like to reach that kind of story. So this one, you can see one person is sitting on the bonnet. So in order to balance the vehicle. So this kind of areas we would like to reach. because the students are very passionate. So with this, I would like to thank all of you and also the session chief, and thank you.
So, we have time for one or two questions. Quick. Okay. Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
Yeah, you are audible, right?
No. This is
Then now it has reached
webcast.
okay.
Hi, Tulika here. So in many rural areas, even if the students are having interest, so the main interest is to actively pursuing a professional degree. So either they have to travel to the different cities or the states. So how do you address that challenge? Because it's still a problem for the students not having some sort of support. So how do you challenge that?
So actually, basically the activities that what we are conducting, that is for the age group from 14 to 16. That is that they are in the high school level. I mean, grade 9, grade 9, grade 8, grade 10. After completion of that, we have a group. I mean, we have the in charge headmasters of the group, and we will be continuously in touch with them, and we follow it up. And also, some of the students, those are pursuing their higher studies in science or particularly related to science field, we will be in touch with them, and also we guide them. Even after completion of our activities, from if you consider our activities from the past 10 years, some of the students, 10 years back we have conducted this kind of activities in their region. Now they are getting into science field in our Mysore and all. We have the good people and also good management. Some private organizations are there. They support us because, as I mentioned, these are the activities we are conducted without taking a single rupee as a fund from anybody. These are the activities we conducted from our pocket, and because it is our passion. And in addition to that, we have good people like that in our team. Those who are running some educational institution, we take their help and we make them to admit them, and we provide the quality education to them also. That kind of support we extend to them. Yes, ma'am.
It's great that you also managed to get a lot of ISRO people and so on, but my only problem is that whatever you show photographs are only guys. There are not even one woman, a scientist or ISRO. ISRO don't like women, I know. But see, the problem is that even when you take the textbooks on science, kids' textbooks, the scientist, when the picture of scientist is always a guy. There's never a woman. That is the biggest problem. So the kids think that women don't do science, or especially they don't do space. So that is what my problem is there. At least in the photographs, and you should show some women.
Ma'am, actually, we are only focused on first photograph.
You might have women, but you don't show them on the photographs.
No, actually, this is a team where we have started. And one more important thing is, first thing you have said, ISRO, there are no women. I don't accept it. There are a lot of women.
There are, but
very few.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. We'll have to take this off.
Okay, that is the one thing I would like to say. And yes, there are a lot of women people also working with us, and they are also contributing.
But you don't show in them.
So they in the beginning they have joined with us. And if, ma'am, if you want to become the part of our program, please, I will put your photo in my upcoming slide. Please, you are welcome.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
don't speak
They are in Bangalore.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am.
I don't speak Kannada.
No problem, I will translate. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah. This is a PDF file. Do you photo or video warning after 10 minutes?
बाकी सगळं चालू आहे. कोणी ह्याच्याकडून बाहेर गेलं की नाही?
Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Anupama. And as you can see, I'll be presenting about the Sisters Women Entrepreneurs Collective. Maybe a continuation to what ma'am has asked about the women. So, right timing, I guess. Yes, so as the name suggests, we are trying to create a collective for women within the space of astronomy. And for them to explore, understand and act upon the entrepreneurial and leadership aspect of astronomical space. SafeStud is a youth social enterprise that we are trying to build, where we are trying to build a local ecosystem for the production and manufacturing of affordable scientific equipments. Currently, we are focusing on telescopes and solar filters. The telescopes that you are seeing on the screen is one manufactured from our unit. You can see there is a particular style of the telescope for that. I'll explain it about later. This is one of the IAU-IAD funded project of 2025, one of the 11 projects that got funded in the last year. And yes, so in the next 2 to 3 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, I'll try to give the overview of the project. And I'll give more time to discuss. I think that will bring more ideas. What exactly was our idea behind, or what exactly was the thought behind taking on this project? The first one is we have been doing outreach activities for almost a decade now, and many of the individuals have been already started being with the astronomy outreach activities when they were kids and teenagers and all. So it eventually turned out into an organization, and we are trying to make a living out of it also. So being a first generation team, first generation graduates ourselves, and also hailing from rural and underserved areas, the whole journey was a roller coaster ride for us, as the system is not yet supportive enough to make it a living for within the astronomy outreach aspect. So where actually outreach leads us, whether it's always the spark that we talk about, is it just the spark that is that enough to sustain a livelihood? Was the question that has been irking us for a long time. And yes, so with our lived experience of these years, small, short years, within the current socio-political economic scenarios, the spark is not enough. And that's where we thought how to make it sustainable and financially independent to survive. And I am the only woman in my team, and I have tried many times to bring in women to the team multiple ways, as interns, as employees itself. We had women, very brilliant women, but we lost them in between because of various social, economical reasons. So we tried to collab between these two aspects, and that's how with the brainstorming and the ideas we came up with a solution to create a year-long program for women to learn about the technical side, the machinery side, focus on the entrepreneurial and leadership development aspects within the astronomy space. And why it matters, coming directly to the theme, I strongly believe, or the team strongly believe, that inclusivity doesn't come just from accessibility. So if it is just accessible, the space is just accessible, doesn't mean that the space is inclusive. You should have an agency, you should be able to earn, learn and lead the space within the accessible region. So that's when inclusivity actually comes, and that's why, that's how what we try to do with this particular project. So quickly run through the objective. The main goal is to enable women to gain technical, leadership and entrepreneurship skill set, and with the supporting objectives of where they are building their telescopes from scratch, develop leadership, confidence, decision making abilities, and also create an economic pathway and income generation pathway through the project. And also see if the model is replicable in other contexts across India and so on. Now, who we designed it for, as I already told, first generation people really need a boost, an extra boost, to understand the specific scenarios, as astronomy or science itself is considered as an allied subject in many areas even now. So to break that wall and get that first person to come out of the community or the family, it actually completely changes the trajectory of the whole community and family. So that's why we focused on the first generation as our target demographic service building improvement. Yeah. So the major challenges, they come with a lot of layered challenges like financial, economical and social marginalization, mobility constraint by gender and geography, and insufficient safe spaces for community growth and exploration. So yeah, and these are our, this is the basic approach that we have covered, as I have already told, long-term engagement. We didn't want like one day, 2-day workshops, but we want to make it a long-term engagement for the participants. And technical training, relatable resource persons, which we felt was something really worked out, where the people from the community itself sharing their success and failures and connecting with them through their language was something that really worked out. And structured M&D was in place, monitoring and evaluation was in place. We had a very thorough rubrics. We have thorough metrics to follow up, documentation, review, feedback loop going on. And this is the basic program design. So it was a modular year-long curriculum. We had divided into 6 months session. The first 6 months was completely focused on the machinery skill set, where they do the grinding, mirror grinding aspects, drilling, cutting, all, and they make the telescopes by themselves. And also the theoretical parts, astronomical, basic fundamental astronomy, observation, telescope handling, reaching out to people, outreach aspects on this. And the next 6 months was completely on the entrepreneurship and leadership aspects. Now there was peer learning and mentorship that we have really promoted within the team to talk with each other, have conversation, know how to have a conversation with the person with confidence, all these things. And there was a continuous feedback loop that we have followed. And a 6 months exit window, which we wanted to give them agency whether they want to continue with the idea of business or not. So within the 6 months, if they want to continue, they can continue. If they don't want, they will be completed with the training for manufacturing the telescopes with all the specific skills, like the machinery skills, basic machinery skills, and they will be certified. Those who have continued has started their initiatives like small micro enterprises. I'll talk about it in the upcoming slide. So the inclusive pedagogy and all those aspects, and these are the training curriculum that we have followed throughout the year. Now, these are the evaluation framework. I haven't added the baseline survey. So we had a baseline survey right after where we recruited the participants, and then pre and post competency surveys was there. Practical skill evaluations were there for the cutting, drilling aspects, collimation aspects, all those things. And leadership self-assessment and peer evaluation. These were all done through multiple activities. Theatre were included, there were discussions, blindfold talks, so there were a lot of creative ideas which we want to make the evaluation itself a learning activity for them. So yeah, and entrepreneurship readiness and financial literacy was also continuously followed up. Now these are the initial challenges. Initial challenges basically difficulty in communicating, and I would say we have 21 members of cohort, the first cohort, and half of them are first time coming to a city in their entire 20 years of lifetime. So that itself is a challenge that they have taken, and it took us quite a while to make them understand that it is okay to talk and speak up and bring their confidence. They have the innate qualities of all human beings have, to be confident, to lead and all those things, but to bring out it took a little while. And astronomy as an elusive field is a very prominent thought process, a stereotypical thought process that goes on, and business is not something that women in general or in a underserved community we are not able to do that. So that kind of thoughts were also there. Key outputs, we have completed around 11 months of the project. Now all participants have completed the technical training and 60% has moved on to the entrepreneurship aspect of it, and 4 micro enterprise ideas are initiated. Now key learnings, I would like to focus on the safe learning spaces, which are very critical to make it inclusive for the audience. And now here are the key outcomes of it. I'll just focus on the major aspects. These are some of the creations. They are totally into now content creations, able to face the camera. They're not in an economical market maturity stage, but they are enterprise ready, to able to understand what money is, to procure raw materials, to talk to the shopkeepers and all these things. So these are the things that what worked well for us, the program design and facilitation, we were able to put it across. I just want to focus on the ground reality aspect for quite a bit. Here, as we told, only 60% has, like we wanted to bring all of them to the enterprise stage, but we were not able to do. There were a lot of restrictions, lot of logistical issues, not logistical issues, sorry, a lot of perseverance issues also, as you can tell. And we initially outreached within our non-networks. So I think the initial recruitment also had a small personal bias that has happened, which we are planning to make it correct in the next upcoming cohort. And there were a lot of, few of the, we lost participants, in between very brilliant participants, due to family constraints, because they were coming first time to the city and all, we couldn't convince them to continue after 3-4 months. So these are the design improvements and support systems that we would like to take it ahead, and the scope for expansion that the models itself has as is an inclusive model. And yes, so that's about the talk. I'll take a 30 seconds just to introduce about the organization and about the upcoming IAU Women and Girls in Astronomy program that is coming up. You all can engage in it, register for the and conduct programs. And also these are some of the other activities that we do, like balloon satellite activities, restoration of the telescopes, that's the previous telescopes and the restored one, which many of the schools have telescopes which are in the corner. So we do try to reach out to schools to get those telescopes. These were given by IAU, NASA, lot of other institutions to the government schools, but they don't know how to use it and all. So we are doing that restoration process also. And telescope workshops, we have a STEM teachers network, around 80+ teachers, government school teachers. And we also do asteroid search campaigns. And we have a number telescope project which we focus, which we work along with the district administration, taluk wise, where we do telescope building workshops within the schools, and foldscope and other activities that as you can see. Yeah, so thank you, do reach out to us and have conversation. Thanks so much.
Questions? Give a chance to discuss.
You mentioned perseverance issues, and you also honestly shared a lot of challenges. What were your learnings and takeaways from it, and what can we as astronomy communicators do to prevent such things in the community and our workforce also?
Personally for me, I think that something that works out is to have a lot of conversation. It's tough to have conversation with people, and with all the superstitious beliefs, the idea of astronomy not being part of human life and all that exists. So how to have conversation in a healthy manner, which our students also, even in our school system, is also not included. So the inclusivity idea, all the collaboration, co-creation, all these comes from when we can have a healthy conversation. So there are multiple routes. I use card games and board games a lot for have conversations. A lot of conversations or a lot of activities are focused on game ideas, especially card games and board games. I will share along with that on a later stage.
Is that improved engagement?
Yes, they do.
Hi, so as you mentioned that you're the only women in your core organization. So your core organization is teaching women, and being that you're the only one women in its own structure. So how do you see that gap, and how do you address that? Because people look up to you, the students over there, the women look up to you, but they see that you're the only women working over there. So how do you see that?
Do they ask you actually? Do they ask you where are the women?
Yeah.
What kept you going? Yeah.
Not everyone. Specifically, thank you for the question. Specifically because the understanding of that women can be part of these stages, they can lead itself is not yet reached there. So the question of why are we not there is happens only when they question it, right? So to question it, we need to reach out to them to tell that this is possible for you. As you said, many of these participants were not even able to speak to me directly, and at the end of the year, they are now giving venture pitch, business pitch ideas of 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So change is possible. We just need to sustain it, and yeah. I don't know whether I have addressed your question. I try to as much as possible to include women participants, not only women participants, transgenders and other non-conforming genders also, because I don't think there has been ever a talk about any gender respecting or perspectives within the astronomy space. So I don't think gender has any like limitations where anyone can pursue the astronomy space, but within the social system that's the case. So we have to address it. So yeah, that's how.
So take further questions offline or outside.
Yeah, thanks so much. I can reach out to the contacts. I don't know. Yeah, contacts. That's our telescope. I'll talk about it later. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Next speaker will be Najar.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak to all of you today. I'm Najmul Hassan from Hyderabad, from Maulana Azad National University. This is a university, it's not a minority university, it's medium of instruction is Urdu. That's the only thing. And that itself gets us closer to learning how to talk to people with diverse backgrounds. And yeah, so I'll be talking about astronomy communication for diverse communities. So why diversity matters? Astronomy is a universal heritage. Everyone, everywhere has access to the same skies. And these diverse perspectives, they enrich science. Different cultural astronomical traditions, unique problem-solving opportunity approaches, and broader public support for science funding. It comes from diverse people interacting with each other and understanding goals. So from Amateur's statement, the sky is one part of an environment that's shared by all people across the globe. So when I talk about diversity, I'm talking about diversity of the audience. We indulge with interacting with the university students because that's a profession. We teach at the master's level, PhD students. We interact a lot with college and school children as mentors or train them in Olympiads. I had quite a long stint going to Umala Center training Olympiad students. Then we engage a lot with the public in terms of public talks and so on. And all of these are important when you are communicating science or communicating astronomy. So when we have to address to these diverse audience, this diversity divide has to be bridged, and it requires, it has to be done empathetically. And that makes communicating science and art as well as the science. And one approach cannot serve all effectively, right? So you have to adopt various techniques of interacting with others. People at senior when you are talking to your peer group about a subject or so, you talk at a different level in seminars, conferences and so on. And when you talk to children in schools, you have to do the role play and make models, do hands-on activity and so on. So there is no one way of communicating across successfully. You have to keep adapting to the kind of audience we have. So there is diversity in ages. People, when they come for outreach talks, you see people who are very senior, who are almost after retirement, they come and join sessions. There are young kids who are playing and trying to learn the nature around them. And they come come from different learning backgrounds, diverse. Some can be bankers, some are scientists, some are mathematicians, some are historians, and they are, astronomy is one subject which attracts everyone. And they come with a very scientific literacy. There are linguistic barriers and linguistic diversities, cultural differences, and there are different motivation goals. When students from colleges and all come, they are doing a project review. They are basically looking at applying to go abroad for some job, for some course abroad and so on. Those who are coming to you for Olympiads, they are to win medals, their focus is at problem solving and so on. And so the goals are different, and some are coming only out of curiosity just to know what it is. The interest would also be between astrology and astronomy. There are people who are trying to link up religion with science and things, and so you have to be empathetic to all of them and carry them together with you. So the goals will be different and okay. So why astronomy? I am trained as a mathematician. I did my PhD in maths, and then I worked for 18 years in Department of Astronomy. And from experience, I can tell you that in conversations in parties or on bus stops, when I tell them, when they ask you what do you do, and when I say mathematics, the conversation ends very fast. Within a sentence or two, they say, oh, maths is very difficult, very boring, very interesting. But when I say I do astronomy, then there are a host of questions. They can be relevant, irrelevant, and so on. But there is some universal appeal for astronomy. Right from a 8-year-old child who looks up at the moon and the stars to a 80-year-old woman or a man, they are interested in knowing about astronomy. So astronomy draws everyone together, and astronomy has another great aspect that it incorporates a lot of disciplines of science and mathematics. So to reach out to children, it's very good to reach them out through astronomy because it stretches your imagination to the limits. The physics which you do is extremes. In astronomy, you talk about extremely massive objects or extremely small things, extremely compact to highly diffuse and so on. So it stretches your physics, your mathematics to the extremes. And nowadays there's a lot of data coming in astronomy, so machine learning tools and programming and all is also very much part of it. So you can link up any interest and you can use astronomy to do that, right? And it is very important to encourage people to think rationally, to inculcate scientific temper, and remove superstition, which is prevalent in our society. We are living in very strange times where we reach Mars in one go, and we take pride in reaching the South Pole of Moon and the wonders of science. But there are people who believe in superstition and the superstition, as long as you are looking at Muhurat to get married and others is fine enough, it doesn't harm. But it goes further, and you won't believe that in 20th, 21st century, people are killed brutally on grounds of magic and black magic and so on. So we have been involved with Jan Vigyan Vedika, which is a popular science movement. I have been with them since 1984, I think, since I was a student. And very often in villages, hardly 100 kilometers from the center of city, very often the problem is of the land. The Dalit people who have small pieces of land want to be acquired by the big landlords, and they offer them some money, and if they don't agree, then they offer them a little more, and if they don't succumb to that, they are hung overnight in barbed wires upside down, and they cut off their tongues in front of people, and they say this lady or this boy is doing black magic, that's why we are doing it. And in front of people in broad daylight, in 20th, 21st century, this is being done. This is the time when we rush there with Jan Vigyan Vedika. And we tell people that, see, there is nothing called superstition, black magic and so on. Similarly, there have been cases where small kids were sacrificed on an eclipse day because the taxi driver in Hyderabad was told that his problems and issues of his will get solved when he sacrifices a child. So this happens it happens in 21st century. So for that reason, it's very important for us to stand up and fight against superstition and fight against all these things. So yeah, there's another beautiful statement by Oni Poincaré from his essays on value of science. Astronomy is useful because it raises us above ourselves. It is useful because it is grand. It shows how small is man's body, how great is his mind, since his intelligence can embrace the whole of this dazzling immensity. Her has been added by me there, Margarita. So this was missing by her. So yeah. So astronomy attracts all, and we are nothing but a speck in this vast ocean, but we can understand this largeness that makes us feel big and grand. So that's the beauty of astronomy. So in our journey, whenever I see our, I'm sure most of you understand that I'm talking about me and Priya Hassan. And that makes things easy for both of us because both of us very strongly believe that we have to reach out to people and students. So whenever we have time, a set of holidays, we take up our car and go to Jamikunta or to Vijayawada or some district and work it out. You don't have your wife drawing you back or a husband stopping, so here we are doing. So R is us, but we are not there alone. We are there, many of our well-wishers and good friends like Ratna Shri. She has done tremendous work in outreach, so we shouldn't forget her in this meeting. Patrick's Shushan has always stood up whenever we required in our meetings. Desh, Rita, and then from overseas too we have people, the list is big. Tim Hamilton, Mark Taylor, who created the Top Cat. When he saw that we were giving online lectures on virtual observatories and using his tool, he came forward to give lectures in our programs. And Salman Hamid. So across institutions, boundaries and continents, so there's a diversity of people in our group who are also addressing to the diverse communities. So here are some glimpses of different activities which we have done, and I'll rush through these because you all have seen many such things, many such pictures which okay, so on various occasions, when it's an eclipse, whenever there is any issue, we set up Zero Shadow Day and rocket, whenever they're celebrating Apollo missions, there's Rocket Day, and when we have Sankranti, we have the physics of kite flying and we give them all equation and so on, and a little bit of coverage in the media. And COVID had taught us many things to reach out to people online, and we had people who attended our classes from all over the world, from India, from Africa and so on. And we did various activities. This is the last Congress Observatory, doing HR diagram with it, and on various things we have done, online courses and then offline courses too. When the COVID stopped, we could continue. We were called to Copperbelt University in Zambia to set up a master's program in astronomy, essentially because they had seen us over the net. We were called at Sharjah, University of Hyderabad, various places we have done various things. So our other partners are, we realized that when we reach out to the underprivileged children, it's better to work with certain organizations which are very serious about work. And we have this Kriti social initiative run by Srilata, and she provides us access to over 500 students from underprivileged schools, and we go there regularly. What we have realized is it's not important to give one talk and go away, but you have to go back to them again and again. So over 1.5 years, we went back to the same set of students twice a week, second and fourth Saturday. Second Saturday was the 6th, 7th class, and fourth Saturday was 8th and 9th class, and we carried it throughout for more than 1.5 years. And after, during COVID, we had a break, and then we have continued after that as well. Similarly, there is a Do Science, Aparna Vishwanathan, who's setting up science parks and so on. So to attract more students, we do activities in these science parks and so on. And Jal Vigyan Vedika I have mentioned about. Funds, yeah, money is required, and funds, there are some places we've got funds from Ayuka to do things. We've got 4 IAU OED projects and hackathons, and when there are no funds, we pull in from our pockets and do it. So the challenges are we have to bridge the language gaps, the social, cultural, keeping social identity of the people. The non-English speaking population is dependent on scientific literature, especially at higher, we require to create at higher levels science literature for non-speaking ones. And we always take care that we have more than 50% of, or around 50% of girls in our thing. And since we are teaching this Urdu medium school, we are in the process of creating high quality material in Urdu. We have launched a Mano Urdu channel also, 90.01. It's presently on trial basis. But FM radio channel, Mano Radio, when more than 12 sessions have been recorded on astronomy and mathematics by Priya and me. The others also pulling it. We are going to go online very soon. The trial runs are done. And to attract people, we invite students from Urdu medium backgrounds to come to every Tuesday we have 60 to 80 students coming from Urdu medium schools and colleges, and we show them the facilities around, and some of us give talks to them about different aspects of physics, chemistry, math. Yeah, so let me stop. Yeah. Thank you.
So, thank you, Naresh. You can take, I think, only one question. We are running very late now. So, from there.
So, what has been your experience?
Wait for the mic.
What has been your experience and strategies, particularly when talking to people who may have such kind of superstitious or rigid sort of beliefs, and how do you tackle them?
Yeah, so the best way is not to confront them or mock them or laugh at them, but you have to slowly get into them. And you see, between astrology and astronomy, you probably have to say that there was a time when all astronomy and astrology was the same, and that was one way you were trying to get connected with the stars. You were trying to see patterns there and here. But over the time we realized that these constellations are not, they're not connected. They may not be connected at all. Then there's no logic behind. And the influence, the gravitational influence on us due to these constellations, or a planet being superposed in that, has no sense. So slowly you have to move towards them and so on. And when they come to talk about science and God and religion, it's again, there's no point discussing. I generally tell them there are two different games. Religion is a matter of faith, and science is a matter of suspicion. It's like using the laws of chess to understand a cricket game, which is not fair, and vice versa. So don't try to mix both. Science is one thing and religion is so. So best way is not to confront with them, but tell them that there is no logic in that now. Earlier probably people thought there was, but today we... Yeah.
So we will cut short because we are running late, but he's available. He is also around, so you can catch them and talk to them. We'll move on to the next speaker.
Astrophysics, Bangalore. Today I am talking about our outreach experiment with rural libraries as astronomy centers. Yeah. The work is helping collaboration between Indian Institute of Astrophysics and Department of Rural Development and Panchayat Raj, Government of Karnataka. Actually, what we are doing is we are bringing astronomy to rural communities across Karnataka in every taluk. So our all things are our all communication materials like posters, videos, infographics, and audio talks all done by Kannada, because Kannada is our local language. RDPR actually manages 5,888 rural libraries across Karnataka. These Arivu Kendras function as a community hub, like learning hub under the respective Grama Panchayats, and they are trainers of to all the ages. They teach, they give education, they give learning things to all age peoples all over Karnataka. Each Arivu Kendra as managed by the library supervisors. They are from local communities, because local community people, if the people talk about astronomy to their community, then the people understand easily. So they are all making them trusted facilitator. So why astronomy in rural libraries? Actually, we all know that astronomy outreach is mostly urban and English centric. And we know that these rural places, we have a beautiful dark skies, but they don't have scientific resources to understand what they are seeing, what they are watching in space. And they have a traditional sky knowledge in that places compared to our places, our city region. We don't have a traditional knowledge about sky or space, stars and all. But they know everything, but they don't know the scientific explanation. They don't know the scientific reason behind them. That is the reason we are taking astronomy to the rural places. And our approach is to, we are conducting all the programs in Kannada. The Kannada makes them to understand the concepts easily, and they get a clarity about the concepts, and they get to know the concepts easily. And these library supervisors, we are training them, and they are as like astronomy facilitators, and we call them astronomy ambassador at the end. Then they feel like they can get like a strength to conduct a program in their localities. So our focus is to, we are doing naked eye astronomy. We focus more on naked eye astronomy, because rural places the sky is clear, beautiful, naked eye is best for them. And we are concentrating hands-on learning with activities suitable for all the age groups. We are not concentrating on small age kids or children. We are concentrating all age group peoples. And what we did in these days, like we conducted monthly online astronomy talks through all Arivu Kendras, and we did talks, trainings, hands-on activities, and learning. We provide them learning resources to understand astronomy things. And we introduced astronomy themed activity sheet that is called Oduva Bedaku. Actually, it's a kind of news letters we provide them. Let's see each points briefly. We did multiple workshop conducted for library supervisors on basics of astronomy and zero shadow day, total lunar eclipse, and other phenomena. And we did live. We are doing live YouTube talks. We are clearing, we just thought them overall like 5,888 Arivu Kendra people joined us in a live, and we taught them basic astronomy things, and we cleared their doubts in the talks. If they get, if their community people get any questions, they ask us. We are clearing their doubts by like that we are giving astronomy things to them. And we are doing monthly astronomy videos in Kannada, like in that on that particular month, what can they see in the sky. We are making videos, short videos, and we send them. They are watching the particular date, and they send us a feedback how they see, how it looks in the sky, like that they send us a feedback. So these are the pictures you can see. So on Zero Shadow Day, we did in-person workshops and YouTube live talks. We conduct library supervisors for Zero Shadow Day, and I also visited some fields, some IU Kendras. I helped them hands-on activity, how to do hands-on activity, and I clarified them about Zero Shadow Day doubts and other astronomy doubts. And our libraries actually not only few, all over Karnataka, most of the libraries conducted experiments independently with on their respective dates, and they sent us reports. These are the things actually we taught them. We use some of them, like you can use gnomon type of thing to mark shadows, like that we thought. They creatively, their community creatively thought, think, and they use so many objects to mark things like glass and like a cycle, like that they mark shadows, and they thought before doing this, they thought sun is rising and setting only in one direction. After we done this, then they get to know no, sun actually changes its path like every day, like that they got to know. Next on total lunar eclipse, we did in-person workshop, hands-on activity, same like that, and live talks, and we cleared all their doubts. And we sent them infographics, posters, plays, and stickers to support their local engagement. And we trained library supervisors to demonstrate these kind of activities in their local community. And many came actually on total lunar eclipse, rural people, they thought we can't see, we don't see the moon, it's not good, like they have some superstition. But after we thought these kind of things, so many library supervisors thought their community, then they came outside of their home, and they watched, they did so many activities, they sent us all the output reports to us. These are the reports. Next, another things, Oduva Belaku, it is like one of the activity sheet. Here you can see this picture drawn by our institution, one of the Professor Mausami Das, and she marked sunset position, and we just explained them like this. You people, like you community, about like library supervisors, you can teach to your community to do these kind of activity sheets and send the results. Then they conducted, nowadays they are conducting, they are marking sun position, and they are sending us, they get to know oh, sun is changing path by this activity sheet also. Next, the outcomes of our work. Nowadays, the library supervisors, they are conducting programs independently without any hesitation. They are teaching astronomy to their place, region, people, and that is the map of ZST activity. Actually, most of the Karnataka people, library supervisors did the program, but we, some of them, they sent us a report. We marked that in that map, like that. Here the map of total lunar eclipse activity. Most of the Karnataka library supervisors in their community, they did program. We get some of the results. We on that thing we marked here. And here you can see one of the rural village. They came outside and they are watching total lunar eclipse. Like this, our program did changes. And supervisors, they shared their activity photos. Here you can see. We taught them some of the activities, how can they do, how can they change their minds, how can they get to know about astronomy. By their creativity, they created this kind of activities, like they used Orion biscuits, and they by using that Orient biscuit, they showed how moon changes phases and how eclipse happened. Like that they made, and they sent us some of the photos click on that particular lunar eclipse time. And some of them, after total lunar eclipse, they wrote their review and they sent us via post. I just put two posts here. And yes, strengths, learnings and challenges we faced in this journey. Actually, using Kannada and local context, they help them effective capacity building of library supervisors, and these practical activities make them understand more, and it's actually long term. They can understand and they use this practical activity we are doing it. So they can use that knowledge long time, and the rural library supervisors and community members initiatively doing their own creative programs. And challenges we faced is who can deliver astronomy talks in Kannada. To identify them in IA in person, it's difficult. And another one is accessing and coordinating Arivu Kendras through Government of Karnataka administrative system. It's also one of the challenge for us. And future plans, we plan to conduct more workshops across the Karnataka on basic astronomy, and we plan to develop more activity sheets similar to Oduva Belaku, and we plan to facilitate librarians to acquire physical materials like books and models to the department. These are our future plans. So this is our social media handles. Please do visit us. By this I end my talk. Thank you.
Only one question for Tejaswini. No questions. We will move ahead because we are running late. So the next speaker, please. As the next speaker.
I hope I'm audible. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be talking about the upcoming planetarium, which is coming in Mysore, being built up by the Indian Institute of Astrophysics. My first half of the talk, the first half of my talk will be on the planetarium itself. As I've been asked, I think it's on demand. And the other half of my talk is on how we built up a district-wide astronomy education and outreach program, which is centered with this Cosmos Mysore Planetarium. Yeah. So I assume all of you know where Mysore is. So IA is constructing one of the world's first LED dome planetarium at Mysore in India. So it's titled as the Cosmology Education and Research Training Center, which will house the planetarium and also function as a research training center. The operations are expected to be begin by the mid-2026. But as a prelude to the planetarium itself, we started comprehensive education and outreach programs in 2022. So we are almost running it for the past 3.5 years. In that time, I'm glad that we have reached or conducted 150 in-person events in and around Mysore, and thereby reaching almost 40,000 people in the past three years. And yeah, of course, Cosmos is funded by the various departments of the Government of India. And coming to the location, it's a 3-acre land. As I've been asked to give some technical details about the planetarium, I'll spend a few minutes regarding that. So it's on the way to the Chamundi Hills, right behind the entrance to the hills, in the foothills of the Chamundi. And it is a land given by the University of Mysore. And coming to the technical details about the dome, so the dome is being developed by the Konica Minolta company of Japan, in consultation with the RSA Cosmos of France and their Indian team, which is like the Orbit Animate, and we are working with them. And what are the facilities that is expected in this planetarium is that it houses a sky theater and lecture hall, a classroom with lab, computer classroom, exhibit rooms, museum, outdoor exhibits, etc., as it is common to any other planetarium. Of course, the funders, and this is the general layout of the planetarium. This is the main building. That's the main planetarium, the dome, and these are the outdoor exhibits and the lecture halls and the other facilities will be inside this main building. So the construction started in November 2023 and is nearing completion, and it also features an RCC dome which is 20 meter in diameter, which is required to house the LED dome. And coming to the main frame, that is the the main LED dome. So the main frame of the LED dome is already done and has been installed at the site, and the assembly of these LED panels will commence shortly. And the diameter of the LED dome will be of 15 meter in diameter and with a 15-degree tilt, as you can see here. So this will give the viewers an immersive 8K experience when they watch planetarium shows or even other movies as well. So the resolution, as I mentioned, is 8K, and the LEDs is 42.76 million LEDs on 6,148 panels, and the accommodation of inside the LED dome will be around 170 people. So yeah, these are various views that is like, of course, rendered images. Once it is complete, it will look like this. And of course, since I'm talking about ground up, so this is also like ground up. First we have to reach the ground, dig, and then establish the basement and then proceed. So that has happened, and this is the construction of the civil dome, and this is the civil support for the LED dome, and inside the LED dome all the work has been started. So of course the LED panels that I mentioned has to sit on a frame, for which the load test had to happen, and that was done in RSA Cosmos in France. And these are the prototype LED panels with magnetic frame when it was undergoing test. So these are the frames, like the main frame on which the LEDs will sit, and you can notice how the dome itself is tilted. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, that's about the technical details and information about the planetarium itself. And now I come to the main part in which I am part of. I am working for the past 3.5 years. That is the education and outreach activities of Cosmos Mysuru. And the objectives, of course, like any other science center or planetarium, we have some general objectives, but the unique ones are to use this 8K LED dome for data analysis and experiments, for training in STEM and astronomy also. And especially now that astronomy in the field, the data is inflowing like anything, and including especially the Indian telescopes and even the other telescopes, it is very important to do data visualization. And to do that, as you have already attended the talks yesterday, you need a modern dome to which you can give input the data and do all of this. So this will be the unique objectives of the planetarium. And of course the general one is to extend this facility to the students to come up with their own show for better understanding, etc., and promote interest in astronomy and STEM in general. And we are also focusing on astronomy popularization in Kannada, especially rural areas as of now. Yeah, this is our team. You know me. And Yashaswini just gave a talk. She's here. And Neil is the chair. And we had a few members who work with us for quite some time. And we have external collaborators who are helping us with the planning and also guiding us. So coming to the public outreach and education activities, as of now, we have divided our activities into focus groups. Like since we are only two persons stationed in Mysore and working there. So with whatever the facilities that we have now, we have divided it to groups and also with some objectives that we are trying to fulfill. And out of this, I will just present the highlights as we are already running late. And one of them is the education and outreach programs, which includes visit to rural schools, urban schools, and also visits to RU Kendras. The main contrast is between the rural schools and the urban schools is that rural schools are often visited once, considering our current facilities. And when we do that, we do all these programs in Kannada and donate the materials in Kannada. But whereas urban schools, we visit them repeatedly, that has resulted in formation of astronomy clubs, which is a significant development for us, because we are trying to put a foundation for the planetarium and the facility in terms of education and outreach. So of course the public outreach events as Skywatch, ZST, Asteroid Day, Space Day, Science Day, and all we are part of it, but importantly we are also involved in the science and theatre festivals that is happening in Mysore, in and around Mysore. So there's Mysore is known for theatre and other activities. We are part of the community to take this astronomy to all. And of course, even though Mysore is known for education, but in curricular at university level, the astronomy is not there. So we are trying to bring that through the Department of Physics of Mysore University and nearby colleges. And we are continuously organizing talks, talk series, lectures on science and engineering in and around Mysore. And recently I was part of BOS committee wherein we put some part of astronomy in one of the colleges, and radio program I'll just describe in the next slide. And of course posters, videos, audio and multimedia content creation, which is anyway required for astronomy communication is being done regularly. And training workshop for teachers and the RU Kendra in and around Mysore being taken up by Cosmos Mysore. Yeah. And also we have already started doing what is called this citizen science projects, wherein we have already had some preliminary and provisional discoveries for Cosmos, by the trained students, including telescope training workshops, etc. is being done. And we actually ran a successful radio program, which was then converted as a podcast, and with 65 episodes, and these were the reception that we got. In every month we used to get around 2,700 impressions, and it was weekly episode that we were doing, and this was the major recognition that we got. We were ranked number 2 by 2 independent websites as the best 10 and the best 3 Indian astronomy podcasts. So these podcasts and the radio program were in English but majorly in Kannada. So yeah, this is the impact. Of course, this geographical distribution doesn't involve me going for any other activities of IA. This is just the in-person activities in and around Mysore for building this district-wide program. This is the boundary of Mysore city where all the facilities are available, and as soon as you step out of Mysore, all the facilities and the regular things that we usually use for science communication become decreasingly available. So we have visited so many programs. So as I said, almost 150 programs, and the number of people we had for individual. Of course, we have some challenges, especially in creation of standard quality and trustworthy resources. And also nowadays, since we have done so many programs, one of the challenges is to meet the demands that we are getting from these schools, colleges, etc. and also introducing basic concepts of astronomy in rural and urban schools in the absence of curriculum. Now it has been done by, in the 6th standard, but especially at college level, we are trying to do so. And these are some of the unique programs that we carried out so far. And and of course, I should mention this as we started doing these programs. We have received a continuous and wonderful support from the media, local media, both print and digital media. So who usually put out whatever we do or will be doing that comes in media and gets reported. So we have wonderful reception with the media, and I'll just end my talk with the, I think the videos now. Then just start again, otherwise I can't.
Yeah, so we're running out of time, so we will stop. We can take one question. Ashish?
Question I had is that in the unique things that you mentioned with the dome, it seems to be online with what I was proposing with ZAR. So I would be interested in knowing what you already have in mind to do in the STEM and activity of people.
Okay, so as of now, we are still working out the plans, but as I mentioned, we would be interested and looking forward to train first, kind of get trained ourselves first with the facility, and then use it to create something, and then we will be slowly starting with the students also, but majorly for the events, but it will also be used for trainings. But as you mentioned in your talk, we are also thinking similar to that, of using the facility and giving it to the students to come up with their own thing, and also having some live interaction session, and also analyzing the data, and especially the recent data that comes up every day or every week. Using the recent data and visualize it first and then analyze it. On that lines we are thinking as well. And once the planetarium starts, we'll have a better idea. And since you mentioned that since it's going to be operational in a few months, I will be, I mean, on behalf of IA, I am extending an invitation to all of you that we'll be calling all of you and for training programs or to share your ideas or to support us in this regard. Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on. Aniruddha Deshpande is the next speaker from the Bhaskara.
So, my name is Aniruddha Deshpande. I am from the equitable, which is the oldest amateur astronomy association in India. So, while listening all these lectures for last 2 days, I come to know that there are so many things going on for science population generally, but as you know, in Pune at least, automated political cities, we have our staff parties and lectures and all these things, and amateur activities very much going on over there. They have grown, and we have some right, okay, we participate in our programs and everything, and they get fed out after some time. Why? Because of the how many times when people can see Jupiter, Moon, Saturn rings, and they want something else, and we will provide it. So we done a good exercise on that. We talked with each other with a long process of thinking, and came to some conclusions that what we can do for the sustainable projects as an amateur astronomers. So we can do visible stars, occultations, meteor showers, transients, sky survey, solar eclipse. The solar eclipse is not there at this current place, but that can be done. So amateur observable astronomy is an unlimited hobby of learning about the universe and observing it. We can do something advanced than just attending the star party. Learn and experience yourself with how the science evolved and support professional astronomers research by submitting their observations to the international bodies like American Association of Variable Star Observers or IOTA, that is International Occultation Timing Association, or IMO, that is International Meteor Organization. You can do by these various ways. You can do it by unerudized, then you can use binocular and small telescopes. If you have a camera looking like this, then you can use photometer or spectrometer or CCD cameras. And why we? Because professional astronomers have neither available time nor unlimited telescope access, they need it, but we have our own telescopes, small telescopes, doesn't matter, but we have them. And the amateur astronomers utilizing visual, photographic, photoelectric and CCD techniques who are making a real and highly useful contribution to science by observing variable stars. Often a brightness estimate that we have made of the star may be the only observation that exists on that particular star at a specific time from that specific location, and making that extremely valuable because there is no observation like this at that moment. So it's a great feeling for an astronomer when the professional astronomers request the data we have collected. Of course, they don't ask us directly. They go to also and something. But they use our collected data and extract amazing information about the system, like the stars. So in the variable stars, why we are very interesting? Because they teach us about stars. The stars that may have planets where they are alive, or they need to provide the information on the stellar population. This is what professionals generally do from our observations, such as mass, radius, luminosity, temperature, internal, external structures, compositions, and evolution. For that, you can do it visually using that small telescope, like 5-inch, 6-inch, 10-inch telescope. Then photometer, you can get photometer at IOTA. You can build it for there. Then you may have DSLR camera at your home and may purchase CCD, which is a cooled drone. So we go for aperture photometry. It's a simple procedure that take a sample image. On the axis side, you will check the field in the standard stars. Take as many images as possible throughout the night. Check this SNR should be above 100. Then check for flatness, that is the ovalness, there is a tracking problem is there. Then check the temperature in case of DSLR, if it is not, system was not very hot. Then calibrate the frames with the flats, dark and bias. There are softwares for that. And assign magnitude as standard star, make object, that is the source, define jet star, so you will know your error and plot. And you will get a nice curves. This is from SUR the observatory, which is established in Pune central area, which is a polluted area. We couldn't see full star, though it is 8.5 above, because there is a light pollution is very much. So this is some different types of variables which we take as a BSc and MSc projects also, and for our members also. Our members spend their nights at our observatory. So observations recorded from VIP observations at Kesariwada, since 2014. Then regular activities done there. Observations are submitted to ALSO. Observer code is DAND. Over 75,000 observations are submitted till date. What we receive the mail each week, because we are doing, someone is doing with someone some other type of variable. So there are so many stars we are using. And what you see here is a professional analysis. So pro is a professional, AM is our observation, and experience is student. So these, from also someone has rounded our observation for his work as a professional astronomer. There are so many mails like this. Then nowadays there are projects at KZO, there are variable star observations, transients, sky survey, asteroid tracking, and miscellaneous. So if you have a small telescope and even a standard camera lens, and with a simple DSLR camera and a less polluted star, that is slightly important in case of Pune. And you can go for the transient photography. These are the two transients that Novine Delphinus and Novine M82 were captured from KZO. Then we go through the sky surveys. Initially we done a fantastic job. Our field of view is 1 degree. So we gone for array, one exposure of 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes. Come to one side declination, come like this. Such 100 images per day. We tried for 100 days. And we try and see that if there is any change in the magnitude of any star in between. We couldn't find it. So we were sad. But there was a conference in Ayuka itself for the transients, and Niraj Mohan sir done gave a list of the transients in that area, and here they also professionals don't find anything in that. So we were not that wrong. We just out of somewhere where there are no transients there. So these are some international efforts to find a distance of Eros from Earth. Parallax nature conducted by Astronomers Without Borders. We participated in that. And this is the Eros movement in our sky. 345 different. And we also track some asteroids that here you can see the Vesta movement. And for people who come to our observatory saying that we want to see asteroids, how it is moving, how they going, so we can show them. It's a motion of say 1 hour also. It is very easy to do this by DSLR cameras. Second one is occultation. Why occultations? So you need a telescope for occultation, any telescope. So Alok is here. So he has a very good timer in his app, and when you see through your eyepiece, seeing the star, it disappears. You click it, when it come out, again click it. He gives you the exact timing, exact things with hundreds of seconds accuracy. So that is very important in case of occultation. So it is possible to discover because of the occultation, the new companions of stars help to improve the polar diameters of sun, identify the existence of possible satellites, then to improve the knowledge of heights of the lunar mountain peak and depths of the valley in the polar region, and lastly, to determine the correlation corrections in the ephemeris errors. If the asteroid has moved away from its path or not, that can be calculated from this or experienced from these observations. So there are the types of occultations: lunar, planetary, and asteroid occultation. We have found a shape of an asteroid by using this type of observations. They can be done like this. Okay. So there is occultation belt over there, and asteroid in between. This is star. So you will get different time then the star disappears from the because of the asteroid, and you can shape a asteroid with that. So there is IOTA, International Observation Timing Association, and IOTA India chapter is coordinated by Jyotirvidya Priyamsa. You can send your observations to us at the IOTA India. Then there comes to be meteor shower observations. Visual observations resulting the zero hourly rate, as I think everybody has done the meteor shower like this. But what you need is eye. You can submit your observations to International Meteor Organization. There is a form, and the procedure is very simple. It is a form of Jyotirvidya Paridosa for the submitting, and the procedure is go to a dark side, calculate limiting magnitude, keep observing at least 30 degrees away from the radiant point, record data like timing, color, brightness, trail, hourly distribution, etc., and submit it directly to IMO. So these are some of our names mentioned by the JV members at the IMO bulletins, and they are observed for the first time. Other ways, yesterday Ram Mohan sir there showing our radio observations with a short wave, and we can show observe meteor by impact on moons, radio observation using short waves, and photography, of course, everybody does. There are some programs which we done for as a science observation that because of the solar eclipse. Long enough in 1980, we sent our people to near Belgaum, Hubli, and everything where there is a solar eclipse, and they done scientific, medical and scientific observations that, especially medical, that if a pregnant woman sees what happens to her, is BP changing, is any asthma patient, and if he has some problems with respiration or something, that we have our doctors over there, they are submitted to IA that time, and there is nothing such happens. So that is a proof that these are all superstitions that eclipse, we shouldn't see the eclipse. The second one we done at 2019 annual eclipse, and we measured the radio flux versus time, ultraviolet radiations versus time, then visible light intensity versus time, and temperature and humidity versus time. So that gives that creates one excellent paper for the operations members, and here are observational projects of amateurs. So you can do it in physics, chemistry, biology, geology, mathematics. I am sharing this slide, so you can see this type of the sample list over here. And so last slide, these may be, there are many simple projects which amateur astronomers can do beyond star parties. Many projects need simple instruments and enthusiasm. Then simple projects to do the meteor shower observations, variables, then transients, follow-ups, asteroid observation, and amateurs can contribute in the research of astronomy.
Okay. So, one question, if there is.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait for the mic.
What's the time resolution you have for lunar accreditation?
No, I just get it.
Lunar accreditation records
Yeah.
that you are making, what is the time resolution you have?
Time resolution, right now we have only 1/30, there is 30 FPS. 30 FPS.
That's not
But
sufficient.
there is a GPS time recorded, we are 100th of second.
We have to go to microseconds.
Microseconds, and the GPS is there for that.
The drawback is the frame rate is 1/30, but the GPS time is inserted on each frame. It is a microsecond.
No, but individual point should be separated by at least a millisecond. That's why.
That's right.
Yeah, that it will be. Okay, so we will move on to the last speaker of this session. Karthikeyan. We are running about 15 minutes late.
first.
So, good morning everyone. Good morning everyone. So, I will be talking about how IRED Foundation has been doing activities to propagate scientific temper across India. So, these activities are open for all the school students, college students and institutes who want to partner with us. So, let's take a small walk through some of our activities. So, the first one is Zero Shadow Day. So, in the Zero Shadow Day, except observing the gnome on the zero shadow of the gnome on, we have done some student-made activities. All these activities you see here, I will explain them shortly. This one is lighting of a diya when the sun crosses the zenith. The convex lens placed here lights up the diya. And this is the same principle, firing of a cannon, the superimposition of an image, unfurling of a banner. These are all the student-made experiments. None of them were made by, you can say, the higher students or us. It's just these students who bring these small examples themselves and we help them bring them to life. So here you can observe the zero shadow. So now in zero shadow we thought let's take it a step forward. We observed the zero shadow, but now let's try and collaborate with others. What can we do to spread our network and make people aware about other things you can do with the sun or these little activities. So the very first partnership we got was Nehru Science Planetarium 10 years back. They contacted us and they were very enthusiastic about conducting an Eratosthenes experiment with us. I am sure you all are aware of the Eratosthenes experiment, so I will not be elaborating on that. So, since 10 years, every day on the 24th April, the day Bangalore observes the Zero Shadow Day, we will collaborate, some of our younger students will collaborate with the students present in the Nehru Science Planetarium and take out the circumference or diameter of the Earth successfully. So these are some of our images where we are explaining, visualizing what is actually happening in the Eratosthenes experiment. This is the marking of the scales and taking the shadow readings. The shadow is not exactly zero because it is zero in the Bangalore. So now, last year we thought that we should increase our range. So we gathered volunteers from same longitude as us and Bhopal. And surprisingly, a lot of people all the way from Lehigh, you can see till Kanyakumari, were very excited to be part of this collaboration. So we had collaborators from Bhilwara region, somewhere here, this all are Bhopal region. This is Hyderabad, a student from IIT Hyderabad was very interested. And we sent a team on the I think 12th of April to the Kanyakumari itself to observe the Zero Shadow Day there, give a small presentation to the public or the institute students present there on what actually we will be doing and what are the science projects you can actually do at home itself. So this is the image of our team, this is our team member and this is also our team member. They went and observed this, they welcomed the sun to the mainland of India on the 8th or 12th of April. So this was one of the very big events. We successfully collaborated with people all across the country. So yes, in the previous image I showed here, you can see this is the Bhilwara region. We successfully, the students of the Bhilwara region, they approached us and they were very excited to know what Zero Shadow Day and how can we observe it. So we did one of the largest Eratosthenes experiments till date in the world by observing the shadows of more than 100 gnomons created by these little students of Bhilwara and Mandsaur region. And these are all done by them. As you can see, this is a very ingenious way to keep the level on the ground, which is very important for the experiment. Now eclipses, we all know astronomers crave eclipses, they are not present everywhere, they are elusive, we have to run after them. So every time there is an eclipse where we can go, we will send a very small team with the presentation, specific instruments and material required. So even the people who are there, they can observe the eclipses with us. So let's proceed. This is the Sillari area in Coimbatore. We actually went there for the annular eclipse, but the people there, one of the people approached us and they were very excited. What are you guys doing? And then we explained and they invited us into the eclipse and presented a show and observation of the annular solar eclipse inside the eclipse themselves. They still keep in contact with us about different astronomical activities we have and other stuff. So this is a very special eclipse which happened in Tanut Mata in Rajasthan. We sent a very small team there with some instruments, different types of telescopes and cameras and whatnot, and there they gave a very small presentation to the villagers and the school students who were very enthusiastic about the eclipse. So that image is not included here, unfortunately. Here we helped them observe the eclipse safely because it's a very rural area. They did not have all the TV screens or the eclipse viewing glasses as well. So we took them with us and showed them the eclipse and the beauty of the eclipse. So now, after all these outreach activities, we completed minimum of telescopes. Now we all know that any telescope there is, we need to do some modifications within it. It's not a very good practice to have equitable telescopes for visual astronomy and stuff like that. So these very young students who come to our center, 6 to 9 class students, they are not really satisfied with the factory-made telescope. So every mount and every telescope tube OTA assembly is changed by them as per their needs, and which is a very good activity because it enhances their applied mathematics and calculations and problem solving skills. So this is one of our main activities. Many institutes like ISERS and IITs also approach us. So these students who create these telescopes, these 6 to 9 students, they themselves go to these institutes to present their findings and help them design their own telescopes. Now, here you can see a very small refracted telescope, but this is a very, very special telescope. One of the students of Bhilwara group, which is owned or founded by Mr. L. Chundwala, who is a very big enthusiast and researcher in astronomy. The students of his school approached us and they were very enthusiastic and wanted to make us a telescope by their hands to present it to their founder for helping them get started on this journey. So here you can see the student of his own school. On his own, he came to us, he got the materials and he himself built this whole telescope and went to present it to Mr. Chundwala himself. So which was a very big step, as you can feel. You can feel how a founder would feel when someone much younger feels his impact and gives him something related to his field. So this was a very big step in our collaboration. He is also the person who is collaborating with us in the Bhilwara region as a whole. And now let's come to solar observations. Everyone here is capable of putting eyes on an eyepiece, but the thing we cannot do is large-scale astronomy or astronomy observations, which is because in solar astronomy, either your setup is safe or it's not safe. There is no in between. So we created a completely safe setup at Harvard. This here you can see, we call it a solar box. It uses double convex lenses here and projects the image on the screen, and the tube provides a very good contrast. So any physical features which can be optically resolved are easily resolved, and a group of people can view it at the same time. So for example, instead of putting one eye at an eyepiece, then we invite next student. Here 4 or 5 students can easily do it together and discuss their findings, discuss what the limitations are and what can be done better. For a little professional or photography type thing, we introduced a slot here where you can insert your camera or a webcam and close the shutter of the viewing to increase the contrast and observe all the granulations and the umbrellas and penumbras of the sun. So this is being the solar observation is being done by the students of Sanjay Kanya Vidyalaya. Every year we have a partnership with them. They call us to the institute and we do a stellar camp, a solar camp, presentation on different topics every year. So these are some of our images of our observations which we are doing. So now let's move to Shankuyatra. Most of you guys know what Shankuyatra is, but to actually propagate it across the schools, we create, ROPM himself created a tool for it, where from any latitude you can generate a Shankuyatra for your place. So we create these Shankuyatras and we give this to these students who collaborate with us on say Erasmus experiments or any large scale networking. We give them these and they take this to their schools where they actually explain it to their peers or the teachers and grow their own network aside from our network itself. So this is a very simple instrument. it is essentially a solar clock for taking care of the local time. So this cannot be actually moved around very much, it has to be specific latitudes. So what actually happened, one of the schools actually approached us and they were very excited. What if we create a large scale model of this and place it in front of our school? So here you can see I helped with the calculations. They created a fabricated Nadi Yantra for the solar clock in front of their school in pure marble, and it's still present there. It gives a very accurate readings of the local time. And the students themselves create a lot of replicas and they take it to every camp or wherever they go and help the people know like differences in the local time or the IST and the observation differences. So yeah, now let's come to the, I'm sure most of you must have seen the post-doc Harvard astronomy quiz. So instead of just going and learning about things from the astronomers, the students themselves on their own initiative create an opportunity and ask the people present to those institutes to give a presentation to the people working there. So this is from last year in IIT Kanpur. A group of students are presenting a presentation on the ISRO's outlook till 2027, what all 2047. What all activities are ISRO will be conducting, what technologies will be being used. So they presented this to them. So this is a very this was a very big step in Harvard because then these people who they present to, they personally connect to these students. Sometimes it might be in the research areas, sometimes it might be on these topics of newsletters. So this is an astrophotography workshop being conducted in ISR Bhopal. They approached us and they were very interested, we did telescope making workshops, we did the solar observations, what more can we do? So here you can see Mr. Alok and Mr. Pranshu giving a presentation on how to do astrophotography either with the phone or the telescope or the DSLRs at all scales. So this is one of the ways we are encouraging the institutional participation, and instead of them being connected to our work, we are placing students like small students who are actually very good in this and pushing them forward so they can start their own networks and communities overall. And this image I am sure all of you know. So last year we actually sent a team all the way to Hanle, and there they got to interact with the dark sky ambassadors and the practices what they are following, and they had some advices for them, some limitations. So this was actually one of the biggest steps because they got to know what is happening in the dark sky reservation area and what is the challenge of astronomy is actually happening, how the data is disappearing or getting harder to catch. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions regarding our foundation or these questions, you can ask them now. Thank you very much.
Questions? We can take this one.
Just one thing that I wanted to ask, that the solar box idea which you showed, do you have any video or the pictures to see how it looks from one thing, and second that do you have any models like if somebody else wants to build it to use in their organizations?
Yes, we definitely do have both of these things. I could not unfortunately include them here, but I can show them. We definitely have those ray diagram models, and a lot of schools actually do approach us. One of the schools in Nandi has actually approached us. And the students build this, so they are building this themselves. We have both of the things we require. You can contact me and I will be right here.
Yeah, because this is good for showing the sunspots. If we use filters, we can actually show to many people.
You require no filter, it is pure optics.
Okay.
Yes. And it's very safe, there is no risk of damage to your eye or the lens or the eye because it's purely projection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thanks to all the speakers for keeping to the time. So, we end this session now. There is some time now outside for poster viewing, but right at 1:15 to 2:15 will be lunch break. Remember, the lunch location has changed. Now it will be